I keep my mentality as if I'm still making $48,000, $50,000 a year, because the minute you slip and start to think, oh, I got an extra $500, I'm about to go buy this Gucci bag. Can you live in that Gucci bag? No.
Money bag. Money bag. Money bag. Bitch, I'm making like a money bag. Money bag.
Okay, sorry. That had to be part of the intro. It had to be part of the intro. Alright, so you are here to see me. You are great, You are here to see me tell you about how I saved $55,000 in Tres Años. And I'm here to tell you, it was not easy. It sucked. So, buckle up. In 2015, I was making $56,000 as a teacher in New York City. After all Uncle Sam's taxes and everything that comes out, union dues and all of that, I was bringing home a nice steady $1,300 a check. So that is $2,600 a month. Now, I was fortunate enough to not have to pay rent. I lived at home. I still live at home with my parents. And I didn't have to pay rent. What I did have to do is pay a lot of utilities and help out in the house, because you know, West Indian parents don't play that ish. Okay, so I did not have rent. So out of the $2,600, none of the money had to go towards housing. Now, my first $1,300 check went completely to bills. So that included my student loan payment, my cell phone payment, my car insurance payment. At the time, I also had a car note, so I had my car note payment every month, and then other knickknacks, odds and ends. I went food shopping for myself, all these other things, came up essentially to $1,300 a month. So my first check, poof, gone. Didn't have any say in where that was going. It had to go to adult responsibilities. Now, my second $1,300 check, what that would go to is my savings. As an adult, when you have a shit ton of responsibilities and things that you can't foresee, you have to essentially try to see the unforeseeable. So because I have a car and because I have a dog, I need to have money saved up for them in case something happens. So I created a smaller savings account to go towards saving for that in case something happened. Now, my second savings account would be for vacation. So what I would do is I would save $80 a month to go towards my vacation fund. So I had one savings account for my dog and my car, a second savings account for vacation or any fun things that I essentially wanted to do that would cost money, obviously. And then my third savings account was to pretty much save $1,000 a month to go towards my loans. So every year, if you didn't see, you can watch this video right here where I tell you what I did. To pay down huge amounts of my principal, I would save $12,000 a year. And at the end of the year, I would take that $12,000 and I would pay off a loan. So just because I did save $55,000 in 3 years does not mean that I have $55,000 sitting in my savings account right now, because I've been paying off bills, trying to secure my financial freedom. Okay, pull it together. Now, when I got to 2016, I got a raise, so I was making a little bit more money. So my checks were a little bit larger. So I was able to save more. See, that's the thing. You make more money or you pay off things, it's not time to ball out, right? The time to ball out will come. Right now, us millennials, we got to pay off them student loan debts, and we got to pay off all these other things that no one told us was going to happen. So I opened up a fourth savings account because I like to torture myself, right? My fourth savings account, essentially I opened it to buy Christmas presents or birthday presents for my family, because for a long time I was not buying them anything because I didn't have the money to. So I opened that up to save for that, and also to save for, essentially, I want to move out of my parents' house, but I don't want to rent, so to stack some money for a down payment for a home. So that was what that fourth savings account was. So every year for the last 2 years, so 2016 and 2017, I added an additional $5,000 to that savings account for a total of $10,000 in that savings account, and for a total of $12,000 in my larger savings account. So that brought me up to about $17,000 a year that I was saving. Where did that extra $200 come from my dog and my car? Once I paid off my car, I took the $200 car payment I had to make and I put it into savings for my dog and my car, because I guess that's like the snowball method. I don't know what method it is, guys, all right? I make these things up as I go. Instead of me taking that $200 extra a month and balling out and going shopping and doing things with it that I would later regret, I saved it in case my car broke down or my dog got sick, and I put that into a savings account. So that really helped. So I never really ever saw that money go back into the rotation of my money, because I had it go directly from my check into that savings account. So this year, 2018, I got another raise at work. Yay! And I was able to raise my savings substantially. So essentially this year, what I did was I'm saving $12,000 for the year. So my regular $1,000 a month. I'm saving $6,000 this year to go towards, because I'm going to be paying off my loans this year, guys. So $6,000 to my second savings account to kind of essentially pay off my loans at the end of the year, which will bring me to $18,000. I still save the I still save the $80 a month for vacations. I'm going a lot of places this summer, so that money really came in handy. So I still save that, and I still save my car payment that I no longer have. I still save it from my doggy and my car. So if you have rent, I know you're watching and just like, well, bitch, I have rent, I can't afford to pay this, or bitch, I don't make as much money as you. These are the things that you actually need to do. So one, like I said, I wasn't buying gifts for anyone. I wasn't going out for people's birthdays. I wasn't going to the club. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't celebrating anything. I was a homebody, or I was really doing like all free activities, as many free activities as I could, because I couldn't afford it. I didn't have money to go buy my friends' birthday gifts and go celebrate with them in the club and pop bottles and all this. I couldn't do it. So I just didn't. So shopping was stopped. Waxes were stopped getting my nails done. Didn't go to the movies. Didn't go out for my friends' birthdays. Didn't buy my family and friends gifts. I pretty much didn't do anything. And yes, it was miserable for a time, but when I would see my student loan balances decrease, when I would see my bank account, savings accounts increase, I knew it was really worth it. And because I had a plan and a goal for myself, I knew this was temporary, because now that I'm making a little bit more money, I am able to buy my parents gifts, or I am able to go out for a friend's birthday here and there, although I still don't really go. But yeah, so you have to sacrifice a lot in order to save money, and planning and budgeting and thinking and being creative with where your money goes and where your money comes from. Notice I didn't even mention side hustle. So obviously my blog is a side hustle. I don't use any of that blog money for myself. I have it set, one, because I have to pay taxes on it. I have it separate from my actual fund. So everything I'm telling you, I've done on my own teacher salary, my own teacher budget. The only thing, or the only break that I really got, which was a major break, and I'm not downplaying it, is that I didn't have to pay rent. Housing is extremely expensive, especially if you live in New York like I do, or California, or Miami, or any other major city in America. Housing is expensive. So if you are living in a place where your rent is $1,300 and you're only making $2,600 and you still have like loans and other payments to make, I know it's difficult. That's when side hustling comes in. That's when you got to get that second job. That's when you really have to kind of tell people that you can't, or you just, not right now, you can't go, you can't do this, you can't buy that, you can't go on vacation. Taking a break from vacation is not a big deal. I graduated in 2010, and my first real vacation where I got on a plane and went somewhere was in 2015. So it took me 5 years from when I graduated college to be able to step on a plane. So it is not easy. It is not something that just happens overnight. Saving money sucks. It's not a sexy thing to talk about or a sexy thing to do. I know it's hard, but it's very possible. My first year teaching, I was only making $48,000, and that was in 2010. And it sucked. I was pretty much on a ramen and wheat thin diet. That's what I brought to work every day for lunch. Wheat thins, Oreos. I brought whatever was cheapest from my house, because I couldn't afford to do anything else. But I was able to these are the things that I had to do in order to get it done. I had to stay home on New Year's and 4th of July and Memorial Day and all those really cool times where people go out and spend money and party. I had to stay home. You know, I couldn't get a new laptop or a new iPhone or a new, people like used to really clown me and say I was cheap because I kept my iPhones for 3-4 years because I didn't want to upgrade. If it still works, why I need to upgrade? Why I need to buy a new phone? You know, I wasn't buying new phones every 2 years. So sacrifice was my main thing, and keeping my eye on the prize. So whenever I got a raise, all the extra money in the raise, I still, although I make more than $2,600 a month now, I still live and act and work as if I make that same $2,600 that I was making back in 2015. And I still think about things the same way when I was making $48,000 a year, because $48,000 a year in New York is like you're making $15,000. Seriously, it's not even an over exaggeration. Rent out here, mortgages, things out here are expensive. So I keep my mentality as if I'm still making $48,000, $50,000 a year, because the minute you slip and start to think, oh, I got an extra $500, I'm about to go buy this Gucci bag. Can you live in that Gucci bag? No. So don't. Put that money somewhere where it's going to grow. Investing your money is smart as long as you invest smart. And I'm just going to get off my soapbox. But that's essentially how I save the money. That's what you can do. Set up a plan. Make sure that plan works for you. Modify things. You know, and that's all. That's all I got for you. Bye.